Teofimo Lopez is making headlines again, but this time it's not just about his skills in the ring, it's his bold words that have fans buzzing. Showing off his collection of championship belts on social media, Lopez taunted undefeated IBF light welterweight champion Richardson Hitchins, making it clear that he has no intention of letting Hitchins take what's his. But with Hitchins' impressive 19-0 record and Lopez's past struggles against fighters like George Kambosos Jr., the boxing world is left wondering, is Teo setting himself up for greatness, or is he writing checks he can't cash? The stakes couldn't be higher for Teofimo Lopez as he enters a year that could make or break his career. With two massive fights on the horizon against Richardson Hitchins and Jaron Boots Ennis, Lopez is not holding back, calling out his opponents and flaunting his championship belts online. But with critics questioning his decision to turn down a career-high payday to fight Subriel Matias, fans are starting to wonder, does Lopez still have the fire to dominate, or is he cracking under the pressure? One thing's for sure, 2025 is shaping up to be a do-or-die year for the former lightweight king. Teofimo Lopez recently took to social media to flaunt his impressive collection of championship belts. In the same post, he called out Richardson Hitchins, the current IBF light welterweight champion, with a bold message. Lopez, 21-1, 13 KOs, confidently declared that Hitchins wouldn't be able to take his belts. This public taunt has stirred up conversation among boxing fans, as Hitchins is widely regarded as a formidable opponent. Lopez's confidence is undeniable, but many are questioning whether he can back it up in the ring. Despite Lopez's bravado, many fans and analysts believe he's in for a tough challenge. His next fight against Hitchins is seen as a potential nightmare matchup. Some even predict that Hitchins could dominate Lopez in a way similar to George Kambosos Jr., who handed Lopez his only career loss. If the fight goes ahead, it's expected to be one of the most intense bouts of Lopez's career. Beyond Hitchins, Lopez is also lined up to face Jaron Boots Ennis later in 2025. These back-to-back high-stakes fights could either solidify Lopez's legacy or mark the beginning of a downward spiral in his career. If he loses both fights, he'll enter 2026 with his reputation and career hanging by a thread, possibly facing an even tougher challenge against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia. Fans might give Lopez some slack if he loses to Jaron Boots Ennis, as that fight would require him to move up to the welterweight division and face one of the best fighters at 147 pounds. Moving up in weight is always a risky move, and taking on a top contender like Ennis would be a bold statement. However, the same understanding won't apply if he loses to Richardson Hitchins, 19-0, 7 KOs. A loss to Hitchins would damage his credibility as a champion, especially if he follows it up with a poor performance against the loser of the Haney vs. Garcia rematch in early 2026. These potential outcomes have left fans concerned about Lopez's future in the sport. Adding to the controversy, Lopez recently declined what his promoter, Bob Arum, described as a career-high payday to defend his title against Subriel Matias. This decision has drawn heavy criticism from fans and boxing insiders alike, with many interpreting it as a sign of fear. The fight against Matias could have brought in a significant amount of money, especially with the added revenue from pay-per-view sales. By turning it down, Lopez has fueled speculation that he's avoiding tough opponents, further damaging his reputation. On social media, Lopez didn't hold back in his taunts. He directly addressed Hitchins, saying, "Yo, Richardson, you can be training right now, boy. You're not gonna get it." He also set his sights on Jaron Boots Ennis, confidently stating, "Yo, Boots, we're coming for 3, referring to his ambition to capture Ennis's IBF welterweight title and become a 3-division world champion. While Lopez's confidence is admirable, the challenges ahead are immense, and his ability to overcome them will determine whether he can remain at the top of the sport. Here are 4 additional paragraphs expanding on the situation and its implications. Teofimo Lopez's decision to show off his belts and taunt Richardson Hitchins has sparked heated debates among boxing enthusiasts. Many see this as a classic case of psychological warfare, a strategy often used by fighters to unsettle their opponents before a big fight. However, some fans believe Lopez's comments might backfire, motivating Hitchins to train even harder for their potential clash. Hitchins, who remains undefeated with a record of 19-0, has proven himself to be a disciplined and strategic fighter. His ability to adapt in the ring could pose serious challenges for Lopez, making this matchup one of the most anticipated bouts of the year. The pressure on Lopez is immense, as he faces not only tough opponents, but also the expectations of fans and critics. His career trajectory has been a roller coaster with dramatic highs and lows. After his loss to George Kambosos Jr., many questioned whether Lopez could reclaim his position as one of boxing's elite. Although he bounced back with strong performances, the upcoming fights against Hitchins and Ennis represent a new level of difficulty. A single misstep could derail his career, especially if he fails to deliver against Hitchins, who is hungry to prove himself on the big stage. Lopez's refusal to fight Subriel Matias for a career-high payday adds another layer of complexity to his narrative. While some might argue that Lopez is strategically picking his battles, others see this as a missed opportunity to solidify his legacy and boost his earnings. Matias is a dangerous opponent, but the financial reward and the chance to defend his title would have been worth the risk for many fighters. By declining the fight, Lopez has opened himself up to criticism, with some accusing him of avoiding tough challenges. This decision could haunt him if his upcoming fights don't go as planned. As the year unfolds, all eyes will be on Teofimo Lopez to see how he handles these challenges. His bold claims and social media antics have set the stage for high-stakes drama, but now he must back up his words with action in the ring. If he can defeat Hitchins and then move up to challenge Ennis successfully, he will silence his critics and cement his place among boxing's greats. However, if he falters, the narrative could shift, with fans questioning whether Lopez is still the same fighter who once shocked the world by defeating Vasily Lomachenko. For Lopez, 2025 will be a defining year, one that could either elevate him to legendary status or leave him searching for redemption. Teofimo Lopez is walking a fine line between confidence and overconfidence as he prepares for the biggest challenges of his career. His bold words and flashy display of championship belts might fire up his fans, but they've also put a target on his back. With Richardson Hitchins and Jaron Boots Ennis standing in his way, Lopez must prove that he's not just talk, but a true champion capable of taking on the toughest opponents. The stakes are sky high, and 2025 could either solidify his legacy or mark the beginning of his downfall. One thing is certain, every fight Lopez steps into this year will be a must-watch moment in boxing. As Teofimo Lopez gears up for a pivotal year, the boxing world waits to see if he can back up his bold claims with action in the ring. Facing two dangerous opponents like Hitchins and Boots Ennis will test his skills, determination, and mental toughness like never before. Lopez's decision to turn down a career-high payday has already raised eyebrows, but his performances in 2025 will determine whether that move was genius or a mistake. Will Lopez rise to the occasion and prove his doubters wrong? Or will this year be remembered as the one where the former champ's career took a nosedive? The pressure is on, and all eyes are on Teo.